So we got some big news from Halloween Horror Nights because they're really testing out some new things. And I feel like I'm wearing the perfect shirt for today's occasion because some brand new scare zones were announced, as well as some unique street experiences. What exactly are these street experiences? Well, details will come soon, but I have some thoughts on them. As well as some thoughts on the absolutely incredible lineup of scare zones this year coming to Halloween Horror Nights Orlando at Universal Studios Florida. So with that being said, let's get into everything. Welcome back everyone, my name is Scott, one half of Exploring Attractions, and you're watching your stop for all things theme park and attraction related. And if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below with those bell notifications on, and you check out all of our social content, TikTok, Instagram, and X, which can be found down below in the description as well. We're going crazy with the short form content, so make sure to please support those pages in any way that you can. And we're doing the short form content while also still doing this long form content on YouTube. But that's right, HHN had another incredible announcement, a week of different things. This time it was original scare zones. A couple weeks ago it was original haunted houses. So I kind of wanted to share my thoughts and give a breakdown of exactly what these scare zones are for those of you who may be confused on the different scare zone themes, as well as talk about the brand new street experiences that'll be coming to HHN 34 this year. So let's kick off with the most recent announcement in the two street experiences, which is the Club Horror Experience and Mel's Die-In, which is the shirt I'm wearing, with zombies. Now, like I said, HHN didn't give us much. They said details will be coming out soon, which I'm hoping that is true, that they just release all the details as far as these experiences go. But they did give us a little summary of exactly what the theme is supposed to be. Brave all new street experiences that take the horror to new heights, featuring zombie car hops, undead DJs, and more. So right off the bat, I can definitely see obviously Mel's Die-In with zombies being where the Mel's Die-In restaurant is at, or Mel's Drive-In during the daytime. I definitely think that they may be doing some form of like zombified like service there, like maybe all the employees are zombified and they're serving you your food. Or what I could also see them doing is doing kind of like how the Megan roaming horde would happen, the little mini show. I think that could be the case where they set up a stage right in front of Mel's Die-In, and there's a bunch of car hop zombified themed actresses and dancers dancing on that stage or doing some form of like kill show per se. I think that's most likely what the case will be for Mel's Die-In. I think that just is obviously very easy for them to do and very easy for them to take such a small piece of the fandom that everyone is obsessed with, similar to like Little Boo, and blow it up into something bigger, which I think is really neat. Now with Club Horror, I think that'll be across the way from Mel's Die-In. They usually have a bar set up right there, and they'll usually have little mini stages set up to where you can meet some of the characters from the original haunted houses and take a picture with them. I think that they'll probably transform that area into Club Horror. They're promising a DJ there, and if there's going to be a bar there, then there's definitely going to be actors there, actors dancing. It looks like you have two female characters in this concept art, this key art, that are wearing some form of mask dancing. So there definitely be dancers here. That kind of confirms it from the logo and the key art. But yeah, I definitely do think that this street experience will be literally right across the way from Mel's Die-In. Nothing's confirmed yet as far as where they'll be at, but that's just my best guess basing off of where they've had certain experiences in the past. However, I am really excited that Universal is doing something new in these street experiences and that Mel's finally gets the representation that it does. But let's move into the unique lineup of scare zones and some Hollywood favorites that are actually coming to Orlando. And what do I mean by that? Well, the origins of horror. Let me read you the description real quick. Enter a decaying conservatory of twisted vines where artists carve tributes to Halloween Horror Nights 34. You'll encounter monstrous crows, gargoyles, and much more. And immediately when you think about crows and Halloween Horror Nights, you think about those giant, beautiful, handsome, whatever you want to call them, crows over at HHN Hollywood called the Murder of Crows, with a Z that is. And there was a UK media event over the United Kingdom talking about Halloween Horror Nights. They do this every single year, and they did say that the crows from Hollywood are making their way to Orlando. For those of you guys who haven't seen them in person, think of them as stilt walkers, just double the size of a stilt walker, and their mask is absolutely incredible with how big it is. Really talented scare actors. The fact that they're able to keep those giant, heavy masks on all night while also being so high up in the sky. Like I said, way taller than any regular Stiltwalker that we usually see. I really love the idea of twisted vines and gargoyles. This kind of really dives into the theme that they originally teased over at the Spooky Empire panel. And who knows, maybe we'll even see Baby Crow, that very cute but deadly animatronic that we saw in HHN Hollywood as well. So that is our first official scare zone, the Origins of Horror. But now let's move into the next one that was announced, which is Masquerade Dance with Death. You're invited to a masquerade ball where bloodthirsty vampires lurk behind ornate disguises. When their masks fall, you'll become their prey. Really excited for this Masquerade Dance with Death. The fact that they're gonna have vampires in this kind of like dancing atmosphere and all of a sudden they can switch to scary, I think that's really cool. Now right off the bat when they announced this, I was like, that would be the perfect New York Street scare zone. However, one of the scare zones that we're about to talk about looks like it has New York Street in the background. We don't know. I'm sure there's someone out there who has put together the different scare zone locations, but for me, I don't know where these locations are at. I can only guess where they're gonna be at least. So if you know for sure where the locations are gonna be, let us know down below in the comments section to better help us out and help us with our planning. But I'm a huge sucker for vampires, and I really like the idea of putting vampires into a theme thing like this to where they can kind of hide behind the mask and then all of a sudden take the mask off and scare the living crap out of people, showing them that they are bloodthirsty vampires at this ball. I'm sure this will also make for plenty of different show scenes that they want to pull off wherever this is located at, and I cannot wait to see it. I really like the idea of haunts taking a theme, a generic theme that we've seen at other events all the time, and then kind of turning it into its own little twist. I think that's really cool. At the end of the day, clowns are used all over the place, but how do you change the theme of clowns while still also having that same thing? If that makes any sense. Kind of the same thing with vampires. But then we move into our most anticipated scare zone, which is the Cat Lady of Crooked Lane. Travel down a spooky, winding path to a mysterious home where trick-or-treaters are transformed into feral felines. Be careful or you'll be next. And the reason why this is our most anticipated is because the uniqueness of this scare zone is going to be so freaking cool. I mean, a crazy cat lady on Halloween. I think that's one of the coolest things that HHN has ever done. And I'm really excited to see how they pull it off and see us leading up our way to the Crooked Cat Lady's house, or I mean the crazy cat lady on Crooked Lane. Just from construction, it looks like this one may be right across from Mel's Dine as well, kind of leading you up to where the DreamWorks area is at and more towards the back of the park where the Sprung tents are at. And for me, it's like I really enjoy that classic Halloween theme. So the fact that they're incorporating this into a very crazy cat lady, I think is really unique and pretty cool. And like I said, that adds to the uniqueness of this year's scare zones. And I'll be really interested to see how they pull it off, / what different characters we will see and how scary they'll be and how fun and feral they'll be as well. But we do have one more scare zone to talk about, and that is Mutations Toxic 20s. This is a little bit of a callback to Bugs Eaten Alive. In a 1920s neighborhood, a BuzzCon truck with radioactive cargo crashes into a mobster getaway car, sending the city into toxic pandemonium. And this is the one where I was saying it kind of looks like in the background, it looks like New York Street, which this would also make for a perfect New York Street zone with the different show scenes and everything. Now, if y'all don't know, if y'all have not been following Halloween Horror Nights for a while, BuzzCon is actually what was kind of the convention in Bugs Eaten Alive back in 2022. They're having a callback to that. It seems like it's going to kind of be based around that same universe, to where all this mutated stuff gets out and hits this getaway car. And that's kind of the similar thing with Bugs Eaten Alive. Was what they were pitching was stuff that was essentially mutating people into half bugs, half humans. Except for this time, they're doing more of like a Roaring Twenties twist. In the most recent years, we've seen Spirits of the Coven, which is kind of like a Roaring Twenties twist on witches. And now the fact that they're incorporating kind of Roaring Twenties with BuzzCon and Bugs Eaten Alive, I think that'll be really cool. And I definitely think that we'll probably see some Easter eggs in the scare zone. And like I said, if it is in New York Street, this will make for plenty of different show opportunities for people to enjoy. It's going to be very bright and green just based on what the key art looks like and based on what we saw in Bugs Eaten Alive with all the green lights. I really hope that they lean into that more than anything and really dress New York Street up and make it look very pretty and vibrant. But that's a breakdown of all the different scare zones and scare experiences coming to Halloween Horror Nights Orlando this year. I kind of gave you guys an idea of what our most anticipated is. So now I want to know down below in the comment section, what is y'all's most anticipated scare zone? Because for us, it's that crazy cat lady on Crooked Lane. But anyways, guys, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button down below with those bell notifications on and leave this video a like if you did enjoy it. My name is Scott, one half of Exploring Attractions. Follow us on all of our social platforms, TikTok, Instagram, and X, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Remember to keep exploring. Peace out, everybody.